Good evening to the Lord Sweetsmere Secondary Grade 7 Parent Information Session. Welcome to all of our Grade 7 parents and guardians. Welcome to the Lord Sweetsmere Family of Schools. We have some important information for you as your children enter into this exciting time as they are beginning to think about high school. And so we have a short presentation for you this evening. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on introductions of some of our staff, talk about programs and courses. We will talk about ways that we can support your child through the next 5 years. The importance of getting involved in high school life through clubs and teams and extracurricular activities and celebrations. And then at the end, really timeline for how your children can select their courses and how we will be meeting with each grade 7 class to make sure that everybody is ready and oriented for the beginning of September. Your children will be the graduates of the class of 2029 at Lord Tweedsmuir. The 5 years are going to go by very, very quickly. And I always say that all of our Panthers are extremely fortunate. Your children are coming to a really good place. It is all going to be okay. They will be highly supported, and the 5 years will go by quickly. All right, so with that, I'd like to begin with our territorial acknowledgement. So we take this opportunity to acknowledge the shared, traditional, and unceded territory of the Coast Salish people on which we are fortunate to work, learn, and play, and on which Lord Tweedsmuir Secondary is located. We specifically acknowledge the Katzie, Semiahmoo, and Kwantlen First Nations, and would like to recognize the diverse population of people who come to Lord Tweedsmuir and the Surrey School District and who contribute to our rich, warm, dynamic, inclusive culture. We are all very, very fortunate to be Panthers. And now some introductions. My name is Ken Hignall, principal here at Lord Tweedsmuir. We have our administrative team, Mr. Krinzik, who supports students, last names A to G, Miss Miller, supporting students, last names H to O, and Miss Garby, supporting students, last names P to Z. I'd also like to introduce our school counselors. Mr. Thornton, our counseling department head, supporting students, last names A to C, Miss Harris, D to I, Mr. Cameron, J to MO, Miss Allard, MU to SC, and Miss Overgaard, SE to Z. And now I'd like to introduce a really important community partner with our school community, and that is Miss Beardall, who is the chair of our Parent Advisory Council. So Laura, over to you to talk a little bit about Parent Advisory Council and the importance of communication and partnership between home and school.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Hignall. I am Laura Beardall. I am the current PAC president for this school year, and I'm very excited to meet you all and welcome you to our wonderful Tweedsmuir community. I would just like to speak a little bit about the PAC and what the necessity of being involved means. With us at Tweedsmuir, we don't fundraise through the PAC. We actually allow the other departments and as sports teams, dry grad, we facilitate them in their fundraising. We rely primarily on the gaming funds that we apply for to support our school, and that can be in excess of $35,000 that we receive. So I believe it's $20 per student that we are allocated through the Gaming Commission. So we apply for those funds at the end of every school year for the following school year. So that process will be starting very soon. But in order to be able to apply for those gaming funds, we need a PAC executive. So that's why I'm kind of speaking to you today, the importance to have a PAC executive. If we don't have a PAC executive, we're not able to apply for those gaming funds. So it's very important that we do have a PAC executive, usually compiles of roughly around 12 people. We've had a very strong pack this year, so we're hoping that we will just continue out. We do have a few people that are aging out of the community due to their students graduating. So we're always looking for some new recruits to come in and help support the PAC executives. So if you have any past experience or you just want to help out a bit, please put your name forward to us. At the bottom of the next slide, you will see oh, there we go. There's the email, tweetypack@gmail.com. And I monitor that on almost a daily basis. So you could reach out to me and please let me know that you're interested, and I'll connect with you and provide more information. So really the time commitment for our PAC is we need to have 5 general meetings a year, which includes our AGM in May. That, excuse me, that is our executive vote. And then periodically, roughly about 5 executive meetings as well. And then depending on what position you hold is what your duties will be, et cetera, et cetera. But I can give you more information on that once you reach out to me. So our elections this year, our AGM is on May the 7th. So anybody that's interested, please reach out to me before that time. And thank you very much for listening. Back to you, Ken.
Thanks very much, Laura. I really want to emphasize the importance of the PAC within the life of our school and the importance of community partnerships between school and home, and highly encourage all parents to please join us on the PAC. Consider serving on the executive. You play such an important role in the life of our school and make a direct positive difference in the lives of our students. So thank you in advance for your engagement and participation in the culture of Lord Tweedsmuir. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Krinzik.
Hello, everyone. As I was introduced earlier, my name is Mr. Krinzik, and I work with students primarily with last names A through G. But as you'll hear from us in this presentation and in ongoing conversations starting into next year, we all work together here. So we're really hopeful that students and families feel comfortable coming to us if there's any questions or concerns around how school's going. I'm excited to jump into some nuts and bolts about what grade 8 looks like and feels like, and Miss Miller and Miss Garby will also join with some of those similar details. This slide is meant to highlight hopefully a simple perspective on Lord Tweedsmuir's Code of Conduct. There is a full comprehensive Code of Conduct available on our school website, so we'd encourage anyone curious to know the specifics about rules and policies and best practice and things that we do to have a look at that document. But to distill it down, it comes down to respect. We expect that everyone in our building, students and staff and guests, have respect to themselves and others, respect to the environment, and that means the learning environment, and then specifically respect to learning. When you go through the Code of Conduct document, this is the core of everything. And so as long as people are making decisions that are aligned with these 3 modes of respect, then they should be fine in terms of school rules. We do encourage people to have a look at the Code of Conduct, and if they have any questions or concerns about interpretation or whatever, to reach out to their vice principal to ask for that clarification. Something we get a lot of questions about are school supplies, as sort of silly as that might seem. But what we would encourage is anyone coming into our school, particularly in grade 8, not to buy a ton of materials until classes have started. Different teachers, different subject areas have different things that are important in terms of supplies. And so teachers in the first week or 2 of class will often go through supply lists that they would like to see students have for the class. In general, students having a binder or 2, something to write with and paper is ideal. My personal recommendation for grade 8 students is have a binder for your A and B block classes and have a binder for your C and D block classes, and then you can switch them in your locker midway through the day and not have to carry everything all day. Additionally, students who have a PHE or gym class are able to bring a lock for their belongings during their gym blocks and to lock stuff in our change rooms. Those are not intended to stay over the course of the day or overnight, but that's for day use only, like during their block. Unfortunately, students who take risks with not locking their things do subject themselves to the risks of their things being taken. It's something that doesn't happen super often, but it happens often enough that it's important for us to remind folks to try to bring their own lock for their gym classes. On the topic of lockers, our school has a huge selection of lockers available, and thankfully we've been able to accommodate students having lockers of their own. The locker selection is done online in August. The dates and schedule and instructions will be sent out before the summer, and then also in the summer in the August newsletter. Basically, we really encourage that students do use their locker. The locks are provided by the school. We ask the students not to switch them out. Importantly, it's crucial to know that the lockers are school property, and so that's why the locks being school provided is important. If we have a concern around things that might be in a school locker, you and your children should know that they are subject to being searched with cause. So basically, we have a reason to look. That is something that we do. Not often, thankfully, but just something to keep in mind. We really, really encourage our grade 8 students to take care of their lockers, to not have any ad hoc science experiments in their lockers, but also to use them, because when we walk around and see students with 60-pound backpacks, it's often because they're not putting anything away and they're just carrying their entire day's worth of stuff all at once. So we really encourage it. If your child has any questions or concerns around their lockers, just have them check in with their vice principal. Another thing that we get a lot of questions about is, what do we do for our child, or what does a child do if they're struggling with their learning? And so there's a couple of things that we're going to highlight here, as well as I'll say another sort of note. But the number one resource for our students at Lord Tweedsmuir Secondary are their classroom teachers. And so if you or your child has any concern about their learning, they're feeling like they're not getting it, or they have curiosities around the specifics of grading or of an assignment, we highly, highly encourage the student and the parent or guardian to connect with the classroom teacher directly. They are the person who's working directly with your child. They're the person who's created that assignment or given that grade or has particular observations. And so they're the first line of contact for people who have concerns around what's going on in the classroom. Additionally, our school does have a math homework club that operates Tuesdays through Thursdays, and that's open to any student to attend. The exact room and information will be provided closer to next year, but just know that that is a specific support that our school does provide. The other part, in addition to that, is if after having conversations with classroom teachers or with the support of the homework club or other out of class time support, you still have concerns around your child's learning, we would highly encourage connecting with their school counselor and or their vice principal to say, hey, this is something that seems to be a more substantial issue. What other supports might be reasonable and be applicable? And we'll work with families and students to try to make sure we find good fits in terms of academic support so that students are at school feeling successful, learning, and being able to demonstrate their learning. So we really want your child to have a strong start to their high school experience. And if there's one piece of advice I can give related to this, is be early and often in terms of sharing concerns with the classroom teachers or with other folks in the school. Please don't wait until the course is nearly over to share that, I'm worried about how this went or how this is going. Unfortunately, our options are far more limited when we're at the very end of the learning sequence rather than in the beginning. So please communicate early and often. Thank you very much. I'll turn it over to Ms. Miller.
Hi, everyone. So just want to talk about some other supports that are available for grade 8s. Aside from the academic support, we have our counseling team, as previously mentioned, and they do all sorts of things, including, help with course requests, going from grade 7 to grade 8, choosing their courses. But they also support students with their mental health and well-being. And just so that you're aware, parent permission is not required for students to see their counselor. It is confidential. Counselors also help with career counseling. I know that's not maybe something that's top of mind in grade 8, but eventually it will be. And then as grade 8 students move into grade 9 and eventually grade 10 in their grad program, counselors will help students plan out their graduation requirements and then post-secondary opportunities, so things like scholarships and bursaries. So our counseling team is really comprehensive in what they do, and they are another resource that is available for students in our building. Okay, shifting gears a little bit to discussing the junior program in general terms. So in high school, we refer to grades 8 and 9 as the junior program, and we refer to grades 10, 11, and 12 as the graduation program. So in grade 8, students begin to develop those really foundational skills that will be important for them later on down the road. And so as part of that, work habits are really critical to develop. Attendance is something that is very crucial so that they are here to continue their skill development and get ready for grade 9 and eventually grade 10, the grad program. As part of grade 8, students do have an opportunity to explore their interests. So they do get to choose some electives along with their required courses. And so I'll talk about that in a moment. So what does a grade 8 program look like here at Lord Tweedsmuir? So they do have required courses that they will be required to take throughout the year, along with a few electives. Most of our courses run as semestered courses, which means they either run from September to January or from February until June. There are a few courses that run all year long, and we call those linear courses or full year courses. And so we'll go through a few of those and discuss what a schedule might look like for a grade 8 student. So starting at the top here, Humanities 8, that is one of the required courses, and that runs all year long. This is a combined social studies and English course. Along with that required course, all grade 8 students take Math 8, Science 8, most students will take French 8 and PE 8, and those courses run as semestered courses. For electives, all grade 8s get to choose one Fine and Performing Arts course elective, along with one Applied Design Skills and Technologies or ADST course. Along with those, you will see Careers 8 as part of your child's schedule. Please know that this is not an enrolling course, which means students don't go to an actual Careers 8 class in the building, but it is part of their schedule and they do have requirements to complete as part of that curriculum. Those requirements are completed online and more information will be given to your child as they move forward throughout the year. Some students will also have support classes. So for our English language learners, they may have an ELL class built into their schedule, or some students may have LST or learning support tutorial blocks. Those would also be a part of their schedule. So taking a closer look at what a sample schedule will look like when it's printed out and given to your child. So on the left, there's a course code. You don't need to worry about that, but you should take a look at the description column. That will include the name of the course and the grade level. And I just want to point out at the top, there's a course that's listed as Student Reflection of Core Competencies. This is, again, not an enrolling course, but it is a placeholder that will show up in your child's schedule so that we can put comments in their report cards when they receive them regarding their core competency reflections. All students have to complete core competency reflections this year and next year moving forward. So just so you're aware, it will show up in the schedule, but it is not a course that they go to. The next column over shows the room number for your child's courses, and then the teacher is the next column over. These are subject to change, of course, but we will make sure that they have the most up-to-date schedule before they start in September. Moving over to the term column. So there are some acronyms here that you should be aware of. FY stands for full year course. So as mentioned, Humanities 8 is a full year course. So that's why the code there is FY. So your child would have that course all the way from September until June. And then if it says S1 or S2, S stands for semester. And then the 1 indicates first semester. So from September until January. 2 indicates second semester. That would be from February until June. In the next column under scheduling, you'll see that there are some letters next to the majority of the classes shown in the schedule. Those refer to the block in the day that your child will have that class. Our block order changes every day, so it rotates. They will not have the same courses in the same order every day, but more on that to come, and we post the block order every day on our TVs, through the Panther Time app, and at the office. So just also another note for next year, as we move towards an extended day schedule, there may be another block listed in the schedule, maybe listed as block E, and your child will still have the same number of courses. It just means that the timing throughout the day of when they have those courses will be changing. So more information to follow throughout this year. So some students have band in their schedules. So Concert Band 8 is a year-long course as well. It is an elective course. And if your child has band, they will alternate band with another course, typically Math 8, but sometimes students may have LST 8 alternating with band, depending on their needs. All band students would then take an ADST course as well as French 8. So just something to be aware of if your child is taking concert band next year. So again, this is a sample schedule. If your child has band, you will see that in their schedule, they will have Concert Band 8 listed as an FY or full year course. And then below that, it will tell you which course it is alternating with. So in this case, in the sample schedule, it's Math 8. And you'll see that there's a YL next to the description name. That means year-long course. Also in the term column, it says FY to indicate it's a full year course. So students would go to their band class one day, and then the next day they would go to their math class, and this would alternate throughout the entire year from September until June. Okay, and over to Ms. Garby for MyEd BC.
Hello all. So just a reminder again, my name is Danielle Garby. I am the third vice principal, and my alpha is P to Z. But again, like Mr. Krinzik said, we are here to support all our family members. And so for any of your needs at any time, please feel free to reach out to any one of us. So Dana just talked, or Ms. Miller just talked about the schedules that you will see. How to access those is through your MyEd BC account. For elementary school, you've had those to look at report cards. This will continue. It's the same login. It looks the same. This is where you'll pull up the student schedule for September. Any sort of formal reports that you get throughout the year. If you're curious as to if your student has been marked absent, or you get that phone call and you're wondering what course it is that they've missed, you can look this up on MyEd throughout the year anytime. Also, at this time of the year, this is when you would make your course requests, and through MyEd is how you will do it. Eventually, the students will get their own MyEd account to be able to log on and do their course requests on their own. But for now, that'll happen through the parent MyEd BC account. It is in our school, it is our primary source of communication. You can email your teachers in there because you'll be able to see the students' teachers, and it's a direct line to be able to email them. So get used to MyEd BC. It's fairly user-friendly. If you have any trouble getting on or your password isn't working, there is a way to reset it. If you can't remember your user ID, feel free to call the office and they will walk you through that and help you out. So really important, and I know right now those grade 7 students are sitting with you and listening to this, so I'm hoping that they're taking all of this in. Encourage your child to download that Panther Time app. This will give you the calendar of school events, any sort of news and announcements, anything that's coming up. If there's a pro day and they don't have to come to school, this is where you will see this. It'll kind of give you everything that's going on at the school. Please make sure that you are reaching out and asking for help. We've heard lots of different ways that you can do that, through counselors, through teachers, through VPs, through the office. Please don't hesitate to call. If you're struggling, you don't understand something, or you're just confused, feel free to reach out. There will be tutorials. Teachers will offer different tutorial times. Sometimes they'll be in the morning, sometimes lunch. We've heard about the math club after school. Make use of those. Take advantage. If you're struggling in an area, reach out and ask for help. Often you will have to miss classes. When you get into your classes, find a person in the group that you can connect with so that if you're missing, you can send them an email or a Teams message, reaching out to find out what you've missed so that you don't fall behind. Staying on top of your classes and the work that you've missed is critical. This will help ensure success and leave you feeling good and not falling behind. Study routines are really important. So like everything else, when you move from elementary school to high school, it's moving from one teacher into having 4 different teachers in a semester. So really establishing those work habits when you come in and encouraging this at home with your students every night. So some of the things we recommend: find a nice, quiet, comfortable place at home, a nice area with a good desk, sitting down, maybe not on the couch or in front of the TV, just some different things to help your students be successful. Really organizing those binders. So again, going from one teacher and one desk into carrying their stuff on their back or putting it in their locker. Mr. Krinzik had a great idea with having 2 different binders, a binder for your block A and B classes because they'll usually be together, and then a binder for your block C and D classes. This way you can keep them nice and organized. Buy a divider to separate the 2 subject areas, and then every week go over the binders with your child and make sure they're nicely organized. Regularly check with teacher websites. Teams has become a great avenue for communication, both for the teacher and the student. If you're away sick, you can't make it in, send the teacher a Teams message. They will hopefully be able to get back to you quickly and get you the information that you need to get caught up and make sure that you're ready for the next day. Also, don't be afraid to email. If you go onto our website, all the teachers' email addresses are on there. Send them a quick email. Let them know that you're going to be away or that you have been away, and any support or documents that they can send you to help catch up. Create a good study system or a routine with your child. Coming home after school, set aside a time to do that homework before dinner, before they get too tired that they don't want to do it. These are all really important habits to create. And then emphasize the importance of work habits. It starts in grade 8 and it will continue through until they graduate. You'll be happy if you set those goals down right nice and early. Staying connected will help you be part of our community and understand what's going on. So we're here to help. Contact us anytime that you have a question or a concern. Attend parent-teacher interviews. Those happen in November and March. And that's not always a long interview. They're actually quite short, which is why we encourage emails and Teams messages to reach out in the meantime. But come in and meet the parent or meet the teacher. Make sure that they understand what your special qualities of your child are and how they can help in the classroom to make sure that your child is successful. You know them best, so share that information with us. Contact the school when help is needed, and you can do this by email, by checking out our website, or calling into the school and talking to our clerks. We have some of the most kind, welcoming clerks. They are here to help you as well. Listen for phone messages from the school messenger voicemail system. So when your student misses and you haven't called them in absent, you will get a phone call home, comes around dinner time. Listen to that. Make sure if you have forgotten to call your child in because they've been sick that day, don't be afraid to reach out the next day and make that phone call. Just let them know, yeah, my child was sick yesterday, and then we will mark it excused in our system. And then subscribe to our email for newsletters. The principal's blog shows some great pictures and everything that's going on at the school. Our app is always kept up to date, and we have a Twitter feed. So reach out. We have lots of different ways to connect with the school. Keeping up to date, again, our website is kept up to date every day by our clerks. There's a calendar on the homepage. This will tell you when things like our spring break are, when the end of the semester is happening, when the student doesn't have to come to school. And if the schedule is changing for some reason, say it's an early dismissal day, it'll show the new bell schedule on there as well. We have a Twitter feed at Lord Tweedsmuir. Our principal's blog is full of information that is happening every single week, so make sure you take the time to read that. And then we have our app, which is Panther Time. So a good idea to get your child to download it onto their phone and to also put it on your phone so that you know what's coming up. Student involvement. This is the fun stuff. The academic stuff is great, but the real way to become involved in the school is by encouraging the students to join a club, student council. We have a chess club. We have a Rubik's Cube club. And if you see a club that, maybe you don't join into, but you're thinking, why don't we have a club for this? Encourage your child to start that club. Find a sponsor teacher and create the club. I'm sure if your child wants to do it, there are many more that would also like to do it. We have consistent assemblies throughout the year. We have spirit weeks where students get to dress up based on the theme of the week or the theme of the day. My favorite, pajama day. I'm sure your kids will love that day as well. We have lots of athletics going on. We have intramurals, so sports at lunchtime. Encourage your student to go down to the gym and see what's going on. Get involved. That's how to become a real Panther in this school. We have lots of athletics. In the fall, we have soccer, volleyball, cross country. In the winter time, we have basketball and ice hockey. And in the spring, we have more soccer, some rugby, badminton, ball hockey, cricket, ultimate, and track and field. Keep listening because this is only just the minimum of what's offered. We have a great football team as well. We have a Friday night lights that happens, a great activity that brings the community together into the field. There's so many things going on. Stay on the website. Encourage your child to listen to the announcements for when we have tryouts for these sports. This is the way to really become involved. Lots of different school clubs, as I've mentioned, and if there's something, this is just a minimum of what we have. This is always changing. If there is something on there that your child is passionate about, but it's not on there, there is a form that can be picked up at the office. Complete that form, find a sponsor teacher, and make a new club happen. Start in grade 8, and by grade 12, it could be full of lots and lots of students. I am going to pass this over now to Mr. Thornton.
Morning. I guess it might not be morning for you when you're watching this, but it's morning for us while we're recording it. I'm Kurt Thornton, one of the counselors at Lord Tweedsmuir. Counselors and administrators are visiting the elementary schools February 27th to March 1st, and we will be providing information about selecting courses and issuing your course requests. And so everybody's aware, we will be entering the grade 7 course requests into MyEd. So if you have an older student that's at Lord Tweedsmuir already, they have already entered their courses, but for the grade 7s, we will be entering them. All right, so on Tuesday, February 27th, counselors and administrators will be visiting AJ McClellan, Don Christian, George Greenway, and Surrey Center. On Thursday, February 29th, we will be visiting Martha Curry, and on Friday, March 1st, we'll be visiting Cloverdale Traditional. All right, so in terms of important dates, this coming week, we'll be visiting all the elementary schools. March 4th is an important date for you. We need to make sure that the course request forms are back at the elementary schools, returned to the grade 7 teachers, because we will be picking them up that day. Throughout May and early June, elementary schools will be visiting Lord Tweedsmuir during the morning. And in the late spring, grade 7 parents will be coming, and we will be doing a school tour and a clubs fair. In late August, students' schedules will be available on MyEd and at the school office, and that's also the timeline for selecting your locker online. August 30th, the building will be open and students can come in and find where their classrooms are and try their lockers. This is the course request form that will be coming home after we visit the elementary schools. You'll notice that under the fine and performing arts section, there are 4 courses to select from. You'll check your first choice in the box and then write an alternate or backup choice underneath. Same thing for the applied design skills and technology section. Check the box for your first choice and write your alternate choice below. For physical education, you'll select either Physical Education 8, or you have the option of selecting the Hockey Skills Academy, but please note there's an $850 charge for that, and that money pays for the ice time that the Hockey Skills Academy requires. Your student also has the option of taking an after-school course. If they are in concert band, they can select jazz band, or any of the students entering grade 8 have the option to join the theater company. Those courses that run after school run twice a week. On the back of the sheet that's going to be going home, you have brief descriptions of all of the electives. Please note at the bottom the counseling website. It's attached to the school website. You can access it by either typing in the link at the bottom of the page, or if you just search Lord Tweedsmuir and then go to the Lord Tweedsmuir site and select counseling, there's a much more detailed list of course descriptions that includes all of the course descriptions, not just the electives. And it's a course called the Course Planning Guide. So I encourage you to have a look at that during this process.
Thanks very much, Mr. Thornton. So just a couple of comments regarding the registration process itself. And just to reassure everybody that all students that are currently in our Lord Tweedsmuir feeder schools are automatically registered. So it's an electronic transfer of records from grade 7 into grade 8. So we have those downloads of all of the students in our associate schools, our feeder schools, coming to us for next school year. If you are in a school, if you live in our catchment area but are not, your child is not in one of our associate schools, please contact the office so that we can ensure that those registrations take place. And again, that's an in-catchment wait list maintained on a first-come, first-served basis. And so with that, we really need that accurate information. Please make sure that that your elementary school office has your accurate current address and contact information so that the information that we receive is accurate. So that draws a close to our presentation. We hope that it was helpful for you with lots of informative information. Just a reminder to everyone, please feel free to contact the school between now and September. Really, our goal is the more opportunities for orientation and information, the better. We look forward to meeting your children and working with your children. We will be visiting the grade 7 classroom soon. There will be opportunities for school tours here and then informal drop-in opportunities in the summer as well. It is an exciting time. We know it's going to go really, really well. Thank you very much, everybody. We look forward to working with you. Your children will soon be Panthers. All the very best.